of people, for one reason or other, who just do not want to comply and get vaccinated. We've got to get them vaccinated. And hopefully they will do it willingly. If not, there will have to be things that will essentially put pressure on them, such as you're not going to work in this particular agency or institution. You're not going to be able to go to this college or this university unless, in fact, you get vaccinated.
And what we really need to do at this point is to make vaccination the easy choice. It needs to be hard for people to remain unvaccinated. And those who are vaccinated, we now know, based on the CDC, they are now able, but with the Delta variant, because they carry so much more virus, they could transmit it to their unvaccinated family members. And so
Anthony Fauci nu are explicații.
Do you have any explanation for why the numbers on Israel continue to look worse? They're now at the highest level of cases that they have ever been in any surge for a population that's 80% vaccinated.
When you have such a fully vaccinated portion of your population, you will get breakthrough infections because of the reason I just mentioned. The vaccines are not 100%. Safety associated. Does the vaccine make you worse? And there are diseases in which you vaccinate someone, they get infected with what you're trying to protect them with, and you actually enhance the infection. It's the worst possible thing you could do is vaccinate somebody to prevent infection and actually make them worse. Good news. Our vaccines are effective against the Delta variant. Underscore the fact that vaccinated people who do have a breakthrough infection are clearly capable of transmitting the infection to an uninfected person. It's clear now that when there are breakthrough infections, namely people who are vaccinated but still get infected with the Delta variant, which happens because no vaccine is 100% effective. We've learned clearly now, without a doubt, that people who are vaccinated get a breakthrough infection, actually have enough virus in their nasopharynx that they can actually transmit it to other people and have documented transmit it to other people. Now that we have a Delta variant, that has changed the entire landscape, because when you look at the level of virus in the nasopharynx of a vaccinated person who gets a breakthrough infection with Delta, it is exactly the same as the level of virus in a unvaccinated person who's infected.
Fauci s-a situat ferm pe poziția de a minimaliza imunitatea naturală, deși medicii de familie au demonstrat în aproape toate țările din vest că, dacă oamenii sunt tratați imediat, se vor vindeca. Medicii români au fost printre primii, iar confirmările au venit de la colegii lor din Italia, care au publicat unul dintre primele studii care arată că oamenii au imunitate solidă dacă sunt tratați la timp și se vindecă. Au urmat zeci de studii care au demonstrat același lucru. Cu toate acestea, Fauci rămâne pe poziții.
This is a question from Jan in Arizona who says, will people who have already had the virus be recommended to get the vaccine as well?
The answer is yes, because once you get infected with the virus, it isn't certain how long that protection would be.
But
cu 4 luni înainte spunea cu totul altceva.
T cells are a type of white blood cell. They regulate immune response. The Swedish study found that many people with mild asymptomatic COVID demonstrate so-called T-cell immunity to the coronavirus. The study further found that twice as many who tested positive for antibodies had T-cell immunity. So we know there are tons of people out there with immunity that we aren't testing.
And those T cells have the capability of essentially suppressing or killing cells that are infected and preventing the cells that are infected from making new viruses. And you're right, the Swedes came out with a paper, and also a paper from NIH grantees from La Jolla just came out in the journal Cell, showing the same thing, that in individuals who were infected and recovered, they had T-cell responses, but importantly, there was T-cell reactivity also detected in non-exposed individuals, which means that maybe there's some memory from other coronaviruses that are benign, cold viruses that you were exposed to that might, and I say might, explain why some people, even children, might be protected, that they had exposure that's not measured in antibody, but measured by T cells.
You guys have been pushing the vaccine, and I obviously understand why. I'm vaccinated, but I also have COVID, and it's spread through my entire family in the past. Are you too casual about the limitations of the vaccine? No. Because it does feel to me that these breakthroughs are happening. They're happening regularly, and we haven't really seen the government pay that much attention to them or warn about them too much. The bottom line is we were still able to get it and transmit it. You can get it and transmit it.
Vaccination protects you against severe disease. But what we do know is that if you get vaccinated and get a breakthrough infection, you are much less likely of getting a severe outcome.
Additionally, reports from our international colleagues, including Israel, suggest increased risk of severe disease amongst those vaccinated early.
I think we should be preventing people from getting sick from COVID, even if they don't wind up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm. And just real quickly, there was a study that came out of Israel about natural immunity, and basically the headline was that natural immunity provides a lot of protection, even better than the vaccines alone. What are people to make of that? So as we talk about vaccine mandates, I get calls all the time. People say, I've already had COVID, I'm protected, and now the study says maybe even more protected than the vaccine alone. Should they also get the vaccine? How do you make the case to them?
You know, that's a really good point, Sanjay. I don't have a really firm answer for you on that. I think that is something that we need to sit down and discuss seriously, because you very appropriately pointed out it is an issue. And there could be an argument for saying what you said.
CDC a eliminat conceptul de imunitate din definiția vaccinului și l-a înlocuit cu cuvântul protecție, un termen vag cu care poate jongla când realitatea contrazice declarațiile oficiale.